Hello. We're going live every day for the next 12 days. It's the 12 Days of Amplify. And I'm excited about this series because what we're going to do is we're going to amplify voices in the independent music community, specifically those that are in the monthly membership, also named Amplify. And here's why. I've learned that 'tis the season for being really busy in a pandemic. We are definitely like focusing in, and a lot of the world is just waiting and sort of shrinking. And what we've been able to do in this membership and amplify together in this mastermind is to really identify the wins that we have for ourselves and take stock of the progress we're making, which I think is something so important as an independent musician in general. It's so easy to get bogged down with maybe I should get a real job, maybe I should listen to society and all the people that say you can't do it in art. So I wanted to sort of shift that conversation and highlight the artists in Amplify that are getting really good at sharing their wins, and also just hear what they're up to, because this is what's possible. So today I'm really excited to start this 12 Days of Amplify series with one of our members. Navardo is his name, but he goes by Kisco Amari. So we're going to bring on Kisco Amari. Hello.
Hey.
How are you? Thank you for doing this. You're the first. You're like my guinea pig. You're the first one here.
It's all right. Someone has to be the first. So
exactly. My mom used to call me her guinea pig because I was the firstborn, and my sister had it easier, she said, which is funny. But so tell me, where in the world are you?
So now I'm actually in Florida right now, West Palm Beach. So
hence
right now,
the walk on the beach you told me you just took.
Of course, it's one of the most fun thing to do.
I'm jealous. I'm such a beach water person. So give us the nutshell. What's going on in your music life these days? What does your music career look like?
All right. So my music career right now, it's evolving, not at the rate that I want it to evolve. And so, by this year, I have to say it has been my best year so far. I mean, before the pandemic hit, it was probably the first year that I actually had like a couple of shows lined up one behind the other. But once the pandemic hit, those were like no more. So, yeah, so that was kind of like a setback because I was excited, like, man, I finally got a string of shows lined up. It's gonna be great. But it's also good in terms of releases. So this year, I think this is the year that I released most of my songs.
Awesome.
Probably like 8 to 9. And
wow.
I probably have like, yes, because I did release like, I've been releasing since January, and I did release one other song, and I'm getting ready to make my final release right now.
So it's almost like once a month, almost.
Not necessarily. So when the pandemic hit, I actually did have like a couple of songs, and I put them together, and I just made an EP. So that was like a heavy one for me. Before that, I was trying to do once a month though.
I love that. What genre is your music in?
It's I'm between reggae and dancehall.
Cool.
So yes, that's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it's good feel, good beats, reality. Like I feel like that's definitely a genre that like people are leaning into. I love it. So yeah. So tell me specifically, what can you identify in the past, 3 to 6 months that you would definitely call a win that you might not have called it a win in the past?
Well, okay. In the past, what? Working with a PR, that's like team, that's a win. Just being clear and each month what I want to do, that's a win for me. And also just finding out, or even recognizing that having that email list is also a win. And that's the direction that I want to go into in the 2021.
Yep.
So yeah, so my biggest win, I would just say, is I think I have a lot of wins, but the biggest one yet is just like recognizing the importance of pitching and pitching my music, or even having someone pitching it for me. So I've had like a couple write up in like the Jamaican newspapers, I have a magazine, and last night I did an interview in one of popular Jamaican radio station. So yeah, that was my latest win. But yes, I've had a
That's an awesome one. Yeah, getting press is huge, especially when you have release. That's what you want. You want people to be writing and reading and getting the good quotes. Congratulations! I didn't know that. That's really fabulous. And I think one of the best things about I hired a PR team this year as well to work on my new record that came out in the new age world, and they keep telling me the best thing you can do is to have regular content that they can pitch their connections. So once they pitch for you, if you have another single coming out, they're like, oh, hey, this person that I pitched to you before, maybe you did something or maybe you didn't, but I've got another thing. And like it increases the whole team's chances of elevating together. So I love that you've been doing this with singles, and I love that you decided to bring on a team. Very cool.
and that has always been my goal, you know, and that's like going into the new year. I hope to be at least releasing one single a month, you know. I mean, since I got an amplified, I kind of like be more direct about what I was doing, because I still do have like another project that I need to finish, but I kind of like step out of that creative mode and trying to get the other things done before I get back when I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be creating now. So I still do have music that is like already recorded but not even ready to release yet. So
I love that. I think that the clarity that you talked about earlier is like that you see it as a win, that each month you actually know what you want to do. I think that's so important. I think a lot of times we're just kind of flailing and like, let's try this. And it's a lot of trial and error instead of being like, this is what I want to have happen this month, and I'm either going to get it or I'll get close.
yes,
And it's very empowering because you get to say how that goes, right? Like if you don't get it because you don't do it at all, then it's very obvious. But usually we get movement, whether or not we hit the thing
that's
that we
true.
want to do. So what's one of the things that, what in a recent month, what's one of the things that you were like, this is what I want to do this month, like specifically?
Okay, so this month I'm gonna be releasing a single. Um, so now, you know, leading up to the single, I have other things around it. But with that's one thing I'm gonna do. Um, I have to go back over my goals. So, so you know, my goal for this month, last month was very simple. Sure, my goal was just to level up.
Mm.
As simple as that. Just making sure that I cross all my T's and dot all my I's, and just to level up. And so during the process of leveling up, I acquire different things along the way. Like I spend more time um just in communicating with the people who like my stuff, and I'm having them subscribing to my email list. So I'm having even though I know that I'm leveling up, and I'm also like very deliberate about that communication with the fans, because I feel I see where that is so important right now. And so
Mm.
yes.
Yay, I love that. Are they responding back? Like, is it
Yeah.
feeling really good? Yeah.
Yes, because I you know, start a conversation, we have conversations, and then I say, hey, can you sign up? And jumping on my website and sign up to my email. Of
And
course.
they're doing it.
Yes.
Are you doing that on social media and getting them into
Yes.
email and then emailing? Yeah. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I love that.
So you
So
know,
great.
I was gonna say social media has been like a challenge in some ways, because at first my approach was like not correct. And so for the past couple of months, what I've been doing is just going back, taking a step back. So now I'm kind of like, okay, am I really following the people that I need to follow, or did I just follow someone hoping that they would follow me back so I could have more followers? So I had to go back through my who I'm following and say, okay, well, follow this account, that account, okay. And then now I'm like, okay, who's following me? Let me talk to these people. Let me jump on their page and see what they're doing. So it doesn't show like I'm doing much, but it's almost like in the behind scene, I'm like setting some foundations that I know will eventually be beneficial in the future.
I no, you're doing some serious strategic work. Like it's really smart work. Like this, it's going to pay off more than if you were just to try a million things haphazardly. You're being really specific, and you're seeing that people are like, yes, I'm going to do this, and it's a one at a time thing right now. And there are other, we talk about whether or not you want to do it in that way or scale, meaning do get a bunch of people at once. But the way you're doing it right now, those people are going to stick around for the long haul because you are creating that relationship that's really special right off the bat. I love that.
I want
Um,
to share something really quick. So yesterday I had an interview at 9, right? So I said, okay, let me go work out a bit in the gym. I went to the gym, And so I saw when a friend of mine was like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's like good moves. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, "Man, you got an interview coming up." I'm like, "Oh yeah." So you see, the people who are following you, they see you and like, okay, they're reminding you of something that I'm just thinking I'm gonna work off, clear my mind, and do the interview. And he's like, "Hey, I see you're making moves. Keep doing. It's gonna happen."
And that feels so good. And that's because you've taught them. And this is our whole thing, right? Like we have to train our fans and our friends to be good fans and friends. And so when you're excited about something, they come back and bring that excitement right back to you. So you might have been like, oh, I got to go do this interview. But now you're like, oh, yeah, that's cool. And they're excited about it and they want to hear how it goes. And,
It's
I love it.
funny because after the interview now, right? My cousin in Jamaica, I was like, "What were you expecting to hear me on the radio over there?" He started texting me. I haven't spoken to him in a while too, so it's good. It's good. It's very small things, but I love them.
I love it. We got a comment. I don't know who it's from because I can't see the names of people in Facebook, but it says Amari has really been clearly growing in his strategic thinking about his business. He's in my pup pod. I'll say what that is in a second. I've seen him making deliberate choices to level up. That's amazing. I love to hear that. So pup pod, pup stands for power up pod. So it's almost a power up pod in there. And these are small breakout room, essentially small groups, accountability groups that you get put in. They're optional in Amplify, but they become really powerful tools for sort of just practicing saying what you want. Because when you're really clear, like you're so clear, if you can articulate that, then the people in your life, your fans, get really clear on what you want and what you're up to. And you're clearly right now, to me, it seems like what you're doing is you've been creating this music and now you're putting it out there. You're getting it to the ears, and this interview that you're doing, all this stuff is totally aligned with that. And your fans are super clear, like, hey, that interview is awesome. That's aligned with what you're up to, which is getting the music heard. So the power up pods are small accountability groups, subdivisions of Amplify that you create your own structure. I don't know what your particular pup structure is, how often you meet, but you kind of just say what you're up to and brainstorm together and hold each other accountable. And it's another growth tool. So that's cool. You got some fans within your own pup too.
It's good to know. Yeah, my pup is amazing though. Very diverse, and I appreciate everyone in my pup, and we learn from each other. So
Yeah.
it's very good just to have the community. And you know how sometimes you could be around. You have friends that support you, but they're not artists. So having that small where everyone is doing something different, you get to learn. Like, oh, how does Patreon work? And then someone in the pop like, oh, this is how it works. I'm like, man, that's something I need to do.
Yeah. It's like growing and learning without having to like do another course or anything. You kind of just learn by having conversations in that realm, which I love. I want to make sure we say it a couple times. Where's the best place to send people that are listening that don't know you or your music? Where should we find you online?
For streaming.
For whatever, where do you want to send people?
Okay, so if it's streaming, I'd rather say Spotify.
Great.
That's because I'm still, so now that's gonna be one of my wins in the near future is to grow that following in Spotify. But
Yep.
most of my songs right now are actually on Spotify, so Spotify is the best place I would say.
And we
Um,
look for Kisco Amar
yes,
dash
Amar I. Yes,
yeah, with the dash in there.
yes, with that.
On Spotify, Kisco Amar I. But that's not how you say it. I know that. I'm just spelling it out for people. So amazing. All right. So I love how you just worded that too. That's one of my next wins. It's not, you didn't even say that's one of my next goals. It's like, no, it's one of the next wins. Like to grow your Spotify following is the next win. As if it's already done. You just have to do some work to get it done.
Yes,
So love that. Really, really good way to word that. And I can so it's so clear, like your mindset of like just leveling up is coming out even in the semantics, the words that you're choosing.
well,
and I totally love that. Love that
that's
so much.
because I've been doing music for some times, and I was like in circles, So I was just like, okay, let's release a song and let's promote. Let's release a song. Let's promote it. It's no real strategy behind it. So once I become like, my first couple of months in Amplified, I literally spent time to get grounded. Like weekends after weekends, like be clear about, okay, what is my commitment? What do I really want to do? and just watching some of your old videos. My homework for the weekend was just to get grounded, and I
Mm.
did. And once I did that, like, I'm now still communicating to really figure out what my avatar is, but it's getting clearer, and you know, it's what it is. It's growth, and I'm happy that I'm open for growth. So I think that's clearly one of the benefits of it.
I think that's like one of the common characteristics of the people in Amplify is just being open to growth. By the way, we keep talking about Amplify. It's a monthly membership, and I open enrollment twice a year for a few days. That's it, because I don't want to work on promoting. I want to work on these relationships and these musicians, communities, and their fan bases, and leveling up whatever that means, and getting really clear on that. So if you are a musician and you're interested in this, I'm going to put a little ticker. You can get on the wait list in thekey.co/amplify, and we open up registration December 30th, which I'm so excited about bringing more musicians in. I think it's a time when we can really communicate and provide something for our fan bases, especially because everyone's at home and already on their computers. There's so much we can do digitally, and that's what members of Amplify have been doing. We have been not sitting and waiting for the world to fix itself, which I know a lot of people are doing. A lot of people in my life are just like, just lay low until there's a vaccine, until instead of being like, game time, let's go.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
We don't. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. Okay, so everyone that's listening right now is going to go to Spotify. So go to spotify.com, and then you type in Kisco Amari, and you're going to go listen and follow and stream and send to your friends, because we are supporting independent musicians. This season, we are supporting small businesses, which is what all of the independent musicians in Amplify are. We are all small businesses.
Yes.
Yep. So, so we're amplifying these small businesses, these independent musicians, and anything else that you want to tell us about what you've got going on, or anything I haven't said yet or asked that I should have?
So, I mean, like you said, small businesses. So that's probably, I would say, my biggest goal now is to really take a step back and kind of like really think about this music like a business. And and why I want to do it that way, it's because I want to build a business where it sustains itself. I mean, if I could, once I get to that level, that's when I'm definitely going to know that I'm going to be unstoppable in terms of what I can achieve. So having that business mindset is really where I'm developing right now, and just kind of like get the business going.
I love that. Being unstoppable in what you can achieve. Like the way you talk about what you've got going on. And I know right when we started, you're like, well, it's not going as fast as I want it to, or as, whatever it is that you're, we have our own standards for ourselves. You're kicking butt, just so you know, in case you didn't notice. Yeah, you're really kicking butt. You're such an inspiration, and you are also super positive energy. So like, I feel like it's going to be coming to you, and I'm excited about your growth and that you are leveling up every month. And this is a long game. So it's about the process. It's not about hitting the goal. Like when you've grown your Spotify, you're like, okay, I'm done. Bye. Like it's not. You're like, cool, now I get to do more, and now I get to leverage that to do something else and leverage that. And so it is a long game, and I just want to acknowledge that you're doing a kick-ass job, and I love your mindset, and I'm so glad that you're in this community. We are all very lucky to have you. So
Thanks to Amplify, tools are there for me. So hey.
They are there for you, but I'm glad that you're using them. So thank you so much for this. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and everyone go follow Kisco Amari. Such a pleasure.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.